Hey, true believers. Chris Mack coming at you with Generation Next, number 4. We are still going over the Age of Apocalypse, and this is the last Generation Next installment. This, for me, is a hard read because just when you think there's hope, well, as you can see the cover, yeah. The print date on this was June 1995. Now, before we get into this book, let's go ahead and show what I promised I would continue to show through this. So there's issue 4. See if I can get all of these on camera at once because I have a little workspace here. Line up Mondo and the bricks. I have to move this further. Like I said, not a whole lot of workspace here. Yeah, rocks. And then you pull out. Got to do Paige's dress. And then you do Vincetti's smoke. And as you can see, this is how Bacalo made all the covers line up, which I thought was a really cool idea because it really expresses the downfall of this story. Like how it just, not, it's a good story, don't get me wrong, but the way just the tragedy continues. So none of the other X books from this time that I know connected like this. This was just something I think Bacalo and Lobdell worked on together, and I really like it. It just makes this series that much more special to me. As I said, even though this one's hard, it's still a good read. So let's go ahead and jump into it. So we first open up on this really interesting reveal of a girl sleeping. We see music. And then you get a really cool splash page, which we find out this is Ileana Rasputin. And she's talking about how Mondo put her in this place where she feels safe and she can sleep and listen to music forever. Last issue, spoiler alerts, Mondo locates her and he puts her inside himself and he has to get out of the core before he digests her. So that's kind of a ticking time here. But Ileana's a little afraid because she's actually starting to hear the drills of the core. And so she wants to break out where she says she can hear music forever. And so we see a hand breaking free. But before we get into that, let's talk about who made this book. As you can clearly state how things are going to get rough, it's simply titled Bye. Created by Scott Liddell and Chris Bacalo. Bacalo doing the art, Liddell doing the writing. Inks, Mark Buckingham. Lettered by Starkings and Comicraft. Colors by Buccaletto and Electric Crayon. Edited by Bob Harris. So we see Mondo posing as one of the mutants here, and you see Ileana's hand crack open. And there's a guy saying, "We have a problem." And what I like is Ileana's trying to say, "Hello, hello," sticking through the hole because she wants to get out. But Mondo's like, "Shh." And then what I like here is it says the music stopped. Suddenly, I don't feel safe anymore. So that kind of adds to the problems. And then from the last issue, the person who was executed was Chamber. And just again, things go from bad to worse. So here's Skin and Husk and Vincent backed into a corner by Sugarman and everybody in the sub-core. And so she's still trying to play it off as Quietus, saying, "I killed the traitor. I'm gonna call it a day." And Sugarman's like, just wait a minute. Things don't add up. He's like, "I don't believe you're actually Quietus." So right there in a silhouette, just a really bad stab through the chest. Just whoa. And this is where the X-Men are revealed. So we see Husk and all them. And then we also find a little surprise about Chamber there, about how he survived. How did he survive? Check out the book. And then it's a cacophony of action at this point because it's Chamber taking out Sugarman, or so you think. Colossus comes through, and he goes, "I don't want to have to repeat myself. Know-it-all claims Mondo has found Ileana. I want my sister, and I want her now." And so Skin and Chamber run off right away, Governor. See. Sugarman. Ileana. Find Ileana. Now, before getting all that, I like this panel. So this guy, the guys that we were just seeing with Mondo in that room, smacking Mondo in the face, and this guy's like, "Don't stop hitting him until he's told us who he's working for." "I got it covered, Malthus." "Hit him, hit him, hit him, hit him!" "Which part of stop that did you not understand?" Throws the dude from the side of the mountain. The intruder just melted into the cliff. Where'd he go? Mondo went here. Oh, you did hear me tell him to stop hitting you, right? Sigh. Just the way the human nature is against everybody is so sick in this book, but it adds to the intensity. So something happens. Sugarman grabs a hold of Ileana. So this is what all the fuss and bother was about. This little Jingling, this half scan was worth Magneto sacrificing his new crop on a suicide mission. And then here comes Colossus grabbing Ileana. And she's talking about how her brother's big and strong, but look at the way he just pounds into Sugarman. And even though he's like, "Hello, little snowflake," she's like looking down, seeing the rest of Sugarman. I mean, like, what's left of him? I have to say, I don't remember my brother being so mean. So at this point, they have what they came for. You think Generation X is going to escape the core. Backup comes because at this point, everyone thinks Sugarman is dead. And so the humans actually start to rebel. So it's like, yeah, but then the backup comes and you're like, oh my God. And some other things happen. But this is so hard because, what's it called? Colossus says, "Get me to the surface now with Ileana. This is our focus is to get Ileana to Magneto." And Kitty's like, "Well, I'm going to come back for the others." And he goes, "Now." Now check this out. All anybody can hear is screams now. But as the three of us start to float away, I can see her face. I'll remember it for the rest of my life. So, thankfully, Kitty does something that makes Peter think. And there's some retribution. If you guys remember from the last issue, there was two guards outside talking about the people inside and how one said he only feels sorry for himself. Well, there's a follow-up to it in this book, so check it out. Now, Peter says that he's going to go back for the team. And so he has to get through the front door. But here's the thing. Ileana says, no matter what the odds are, I know him. He'll fight and fight and fight until he'll win. He came to rescue me with his friends, and he won't surrender so long as he can save them too. It's not like he would just leave them. If it meant saving one of them, or never seeing me again, I know what he'd do. I mean, like I said, he's a hero. He never gives up. Ever. So you'd think Peter, with all this power, would be able to pry that door open. So, he sees what's going on. He sees Paige. And I hate to say it, but I just think he didn't care at that point. He just wants to be with his sister, even though he looks torn. I may be reading that wrong. Let me know down in the comments below. But again, just the way things happen. I know I jumped over a lot. I don't want to ruin this last issue. I just kind of want to give you a brief summary of events on Generation X number 4. We'll be concluding a lot of what happens with this team in X-Men Omega, which we will get there. Just, this is a hard book, guys. It's a great read. It continues on the track of what Liddell and Bacalo wanted to do. But nonetheless, when it ends in tragedy, each time you read it, you always hope that things could change. But we know different. So if you guys have enjoyed this review, we'd really appreciate if you take a moment to hit like, share, and subscribe. It helps the club channel more than you could possibly know. And if you wouldn't mind hitting that fancy little sugar bell next to subscribe. That way, as we continue to upload content, you guys will get notified and you can come to the channel. Love to hear your feedback down in the comments below or our social media pages, which I'll make sure to leave the links down in the description below. So with all that said, thank you all so much for stopping by and checking out this review with us. And I hope you all continue to have an absolutely amazing day reading, and happy hunting, true believers.